Would you mind if I just chatted to you for a little while? And you tried to fall asleep tonight? Would that be okay? I've got a nice blanket here. I've got a nice blanket here that I can tuck you in with. So if you'll just get cozy and comfortable, I will just get all of these blankets just tucking you in nice and cozy. Okay, so just tucking you in there, nice and cozy. Okay, and of course, please actually tuck yourself in. I can't do it for you. So get real comfy and cozy in your bed or in your chair. Wrap yourself up in a nice warm blanket. Just relax. Alright, so I'll tuck you in here. Tuck you in nice and safe. And then hopefully I'm able to just get you to rest as I yap away for however long, just to help you get some rest. I actually feel like I have a little bit to talk about to you this time. I don't actually remember when it was I last just tucked you in and chatted to you for a little while. It wasn't that long ago, was it? Maybe I could do it more often. I know it's comforting to have someone just there, someone to just listen to as you try and relax. But even though it wasn't that long ago, I've been up to quite a bit. There was a few things that I've done in the last couple of weeks that I feel are finally interesting. And I'm not just going to be talking about Minecraft the entire time, although I know some of you may like that. And I might have a little bit of something interesting to say later on in that regards. Actually, you know what? No, it might be interesting to say now. How about I tell you about it now? And then we'll get into the other non-Minecraft related stuff. I bought a new computer. So currently at the moment, like right this second as I'm sitting here talking to you, I have two computers. I have one use for gaming on, and I have another one that is what I use for making videos and editing and stuff like that. So I have two separate, I kind of have like a work computer and then my personal computer, but they're both laptops. And so I've never actually owned a proper desktop computer. I've had like family computers, but I've never had a proper gaming computer. Desktop, I should say. I've had a gaming computer. My laptop is a gaming laptop, but it's a gaming laptop from like 2018, 2019 maybe. It's really old. It's got for any computer nerds out there, it's got a 1050, a NVIDIA GeForce 1050 in it, which is really bad for those who don't know. Really just not good. It was good for like 2018. I could run most games back then, but like now I'm struggling to even play modern games. I bought Escape Simulator 2, and even that, like, it's a low spec game, but because it's a recent game, I had to do all the settings all the way down just to be able to play it on it. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. I wanted to say this real quick before people fell asleep. I bought a new computer, and I was thinking, well, now that it's a high-spec computer, I should have a lot more processing power. It may be possible for me to actually, do some ASMR gameplay stuff on it. It might be able to, I don't want to promise anything, but I might be able to stream some gameplay or something if that's anything anyone would be interested in. So I'm just gonna wait for the computer to arrive. I'm still currently waiting for it. It's in the post, or it's being delivered. I should say it's not in the post because you don't post a computer. But it's on its way. So it should open up new possibilities. Hopefully I'll be able to look at doing some other stuff, potentially. And if not, well, with its computing power, I should be able to edit videos on it at a much faster pace because it will process them faster. So, we'll see. I'm super excited though. I'm desperate to get my hands on it and test it out. Anyway, the reason that's Minecraft related is because the first game I'm going to put on it is Minecraft, of course. The first game I'm going to play on there will be Minecraft, most definitely. It's always the first game I put on any new system I have. It's always Minecraft. Minecraft, Terraria, and then Garry's Mod, and it used to be, not that I've played it for the longest time, but TF2, Team Fortress 2. Those were the 4 games that I would always have on every device. But Minecraft was always a first, and then Terraria would be shortly thereafter. I'm pretty sure I even have Minecraft on the work laptop that I have, just because I couldn't not put some kind of video game on there. if I've ever launched it. I think I did. I think I used that laptop once. I took it. I was like going out, and I took it to where was I? I don't remember, but my mate asked me to hop on like the server real quick that he had, so I was like, oh, I've got the laptop, good thing I've got Minecraft. So I was able to jump in and help him out do the thing that he was asking me to. He was setting up some farm that he wanted me to like sit there in a certain spot and test it and make sure it was working. But yeah, I should be getting that hopefully sometime this week. Maybe I'll post some stuff about it. Maybe I'll make a little video unboxing it, or I don't know, setting it up, showing it off or something. Might be fun. Just a little bit it's like little bits of fluff. There was like little bits of fluff on the microphone. Well, what have you been up to lately? Anything fun? Anything interesting? Have you done anything that's sort of out of your comfort zone, maybe? I'd be really interested to know. Yeah, it's alright, you don't have to tell me right now, but maybe when you wake up, maybe after you're rested, after you wake up, you could come and tell me, let me know if you've been up to anything interesting lately. Anything unusual, out of the norm. I know I have. I went to a showing of student films. Something I never ever do. I had a reason. One of my mates' films was showing. He was showing his, like, I don't know what you call it, your like final assessment for university. So him and his cohort, is that the word? Like him and his, like the other students in his class group, whatever it is, and we're all showing their short films at a theatre. And so I went and attended that to sort of support him, but, you know, or to see how well he had done. What it is he directed, because he directed this short film. I think it was like 8 minutes long or something like that. They weren't very long, but they were interesting to say the least. And not my area of expertise. I kind of like, I'm like way out of my field when talking about like the intricacies of filmmaking and cinematography and all that sort of stuff. Like, I do know some stuff, obviously, as I record videos myself. But actual film stuff, I'm a lot out of my field on. But so I went to this showing of the student films. It was on like Wednesday night, which is in the middle of the week. It was a good time because me and my mates all went. So there was the three of us plus the guy that filmed, like that directed the film. And so we had like just a fun night watching those. They weren't good. It's student film, so of course, like, they're not masterpieces, of course. No student film would be. And there was definitely like some, how do I put this, really interesting concepts. They weren't executed well. Like, one of the films was, it was a sitcom, right? So take your stereotypical, I think that's what I was about to say. Take your stereotypical Friends plot, right? But then have a self-aware character, like, realize that they're in there and then, like, point out the tropes that was the short film. So very, like I know what's happening here, but an interesting concept nonetheless, where the main character sort of is just aware that he's in a sitcom. Imagine, for those of you who have seen it, Community. If you know the TV show Community, and there's the character Abed Nadir, who always pretends like he's in a TV show. So imagine that character, but they actually recognize that they're in a TV show. It was an interesting concept, but I think because it was 8 minutes and not like a standard 20-minute TV show episode, it felt weirdly out of place when the main character just started like staring at the camera. There was just like a scene where like the group was talking about whatever joke that was, and the main character just starts like doing this at the camera, and it was so strange because they don't mention it at first because it's supposed to be like a slow burn. Anyway, another point. It's just there was like, I don't know, student film, so it had some weird pacing and stuff. And there was one that was actually terrible. It was so bad. I feel really bad for saying that. It was just not. It was like the acting, like the actors were not directed well. The audio mixing was terrible. You couldn't understand what was being said half the time. There was no continuity between scene changes. So like one shot would be looking this way and then another shot would be looking the other way, but there was no continuity as to like what we were looking at. There were certain scenes that just didn't make sense. Like, it hard cuts to just a character dancing like alone to I don't know what was happening. And then they do like a scene change and then they're outside, but I don't know, and the plot was just like not. I would explain the plot, but I literally don't know what it was because it just was incoherent to me. It was like these two dudes at a bar, and then I don't know, and then like their roommate shows up. I don't know what was happening. Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird. It was very disjointed and like not well done. The only thing that I could say was like it was lit well. Like you could see what we were focusing on. So the lighting was good, and I guess the framing then was good because like characters were like in frame where they were supposed to be. You know, except for when like one of them just is all of a sudden like 40 feet away. Anyway, Anyway, yes, I did that. That was that was like 2-3 weeks ago now. I can't actually remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It must have been 2 weeks ago. I'm just thinking about the other films. There was one that was just like interpretive dance. It was like an interpretive dance film. It was really interesting. I liked it a lot, but it lacked like an explanation. Like it was very metaphorical in its like what it was suggesting with the dance and the stuff that was going on. I just wish it had more of a like, this is what this means sort of moment. It was really cool because it was like these dancers dancing in like in a thrift store, secondhand store, and then it would like cut to them in some like dimly lit studio with like curtains around, and they're like dancing around a pile of like all red clothing. It was, I don't know, and then it would cut back to the store again, and then they're in there dancing. It was really well done because there was like, they framed the shots, so it's like this character was dancing in this position, but then it would cut, and then it would be every actor in the scene was in the exact same position but in a different location, and they were doing the dances there, and it was like swapping between the two scenes, and it was actually like synced up really, really well. They had done an absolute fantastic job at like positioning all the dancers so they could make cuts between the two scenes with their positions in the frame still being aligned. Really, really cool. It was really, really interesting to see that. But yeah, whatever the message behind the film was, or whatever it was trying to say, wasn't clear enough. Like, I guess maybe it was meant to be up for interpretation, but I feel like it should have definitely been like, this is what this means. It would have made it just a much better experience. And of course, then there was my mate's film. His was either the best or like the second best one that was there. There was a comedy as well, and the comedy was actually really like well done. It was quite funny. The pacing was really good. Their characters were just like comedic genius. And so yeah, that was one of the things. That was one of the things that I've been up to recently. Just sort of out of my comfort zone a little. I do very much like going to the theatre and like hanging out in a place like that. It's just new for me to be sort of... Sorry, I'm just going to share in your blanket here. Just tuck myself in a little under these blankets with you. Yeah, I do like going to the theatre and watching movies, but it's a new experience. Watching student films. It's interesting. I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I would do it again if I didn't have like an incentive, like my mate showing one of his projects off. But it was fun, doing new things you didn't think you would actually go and do. So what about you? Anything like that you've been doing? Anything sort of out of your comfort zone? It's what I was asking earlier, but I don't know. I hope you're resting well, listening to me. I hope you are resting well, able to sleep and relax, just comforted by me talking to you. Another thing I did, not really out of my comfort zone, but another interesting story that I have for you is that I went to a wedding recently. It was my cousin's wedding. She got married, and so that was a fun sort of weekend thing that happened. I got to see all my family, all of my cousins on that side of the family, and then we sort of spent the day at this. It was like a winery, I guess, like a vineyard, because they had like the grapevines. I don't know. We have a lot of like wine things here. Vineyards, that's what they're called, right? It's very common. There's entire like suburbs here that are just that. And then one of my favorite places, Margaret River, which is way down south. And that place is also known for its like vineyards. There's a lot of wineries and stuff like that, but then there's also what's it called? I think it's called Swan Valley. I don't know. Swan something. Yeah, there's that here too, and it's like they're not as far away, but there's a lot of vineyards, and some of them have obviously like venues that they can do weddings at, and so they chose this place. I don't remember what it was called, but they chose this specific one to have their wedding, and it was a fun night. My favorite part actually had nothing to do with the wedding at all. I have a cousin who's like a lot younger than the rest of us. So all of my cousins on that side of the family are sort of all the same age. We're all sort of like, I'm trying to think, like we're all in our 20s with the exception of like two of us. There's the cousin that got married is in her 30s, and then my older brother is in his 30s, and then the rest of us are all in our 20s. And then, except for this one cousin, who is, how old is he? He's like 13, 14, I don't remember. I think he's 14. So he's like a lot younger than the rest of us. But it was cool because he was there, right? And his dad like took him for a walk because he like obviously can't was a little bit of like alcohol, so people were drinking, obviously, because it's a wedding. I keep saying obviously. I'm gonna stop saying obviously because I keep saying it, and I don't know why. So obviously, I'm gonna stop saying obviously. So yeah, his dad, my uncle, was taking him for a walk, and then I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with them, just to sort of hang out, chill out with them for a while. And I didn't realise this, and like I don't know how I had gone all these years and never learned this, but my uncle is really, really into like constellations and like the stars and stuff. And so he's telling his kid, my cousin, all about like Pleiades, and then there was this Pleiades, and then the Orion, and then there's the Centaur or something, that like Orion is defending Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. I don't know. It sounds stupid because he was telling me this, and I was like, wow, this is so interesting, and I was like really like heavily into it when he was telling me, but then now I can't even remember the names of the constellations he was talking. I know it was Orion and Pleiades, but then there's another one. It's like a Centaur or something, and it's like defending Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, which is like a little cluster of stars. Reason why I thought that was super interesting is actually behind me. This lovely book series behind me is ReZero, and ReZero has a lot of symbolism to do with the constellations, specifically the main character. I don't know if I was gonna move it, but I'm gonna knock all the little pop figures. I'm gonna knock all the little like pop figures that are over there. That's not gonna focus. You wanna focus on him? Come on. Anyway, why does it not wanna focus? Maybe if I pull it back. I'm just like so distracted because it doesn't want to focus. It's accurate. That's what I was trying to show you. It's just Hagrid. Anyway, what was I saying? Subaru is the main character in ReZero, and Subaru is named after the constellation of stars of the same name, which I believe is also the Seven Sisters. I think Pleiades is also known as Subaru, and then he's named after them. But then, of course, it's kind of cool because in these books, where is it? It's this one, and this one. They go to the Pleiades Watchtower, and then there's. It's really cool because when he was talking about the Seven Sisters, it made me realise, I was like, well, there's 7 witches in ReZero, and every time. I don't want to spoil ReZero. Actually, maybe I should not talk about it because I don't want to spoil it, but there's 7 sins, 7 witches, and then there's 7 sisters in the star of Pleiades, which like connected the dots of that series in my mind. I was like, well, there's 7 seals in the Pleiades Watchtower, and every time Subaru possesses one of the witch factors, which is one of the 7 sins, like archbishops of sin in it, every time he defeats one of those, he gains the witch factor of that person, and then he is able to unlock more of the doors at the Pleiades Watchtower. So I was like piecing in together all these little like lucid hints on my favourite series when he was talking about it, and I was like, oh my god, because like one of the cool things is there's like a trial where he like looks above and he can see a constellation. It's I love ReZero so much. You can tell because I'm like should just chill out for a second. I'm just going to take my time. Just take my time to talk slowly about ReZero. It's such a good series. I can't recommend it enough. It helps if you know a little bit about isekai. The genre isekai, or another world, because it does a very good job at taking your expectations of a world like that and making it super interesting. Typically in an isekai, the main character gets overpowered for no reason. They'll go to another world and just have extraordinary power. They have all the coolest magic. They get a fancy sword, and they're set on a quest to go and kill the Demon King or the Demon Lord or whatever evil entity there is that is dominating the land. That's typically what happens in an isekai. But with ReZero, he's sent to this world with magic and like beast people. There's like lizard people and like wolf people things. They're called demi-humans in the story. And then there's elves, but elves are kind of non-existent anymore, except for one. And then there's demons or like devils that also exist. Only there's only that exist. But their tribe was like wiped out. And then there's different. Anyway, I could go on a whole tangent about ReZero. But he gets put into that world, and he's not given a mission. He's not told why he goes there. He's not given any sort of special ability. As it seems, he can't use magic, doesn't know what he's doing. He ends up just sort of stumbling around until he comes across a silver-haired girl. And she's lost her pendant, or he gets like beat up, and then she like saves him, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna help you find your pendant because you comforted me while I was like on the side of the street, like after being beaten by these thugs, because he has no power. He thinks he's got powers, and then they beat him up, and he's like, what? I thought I was supposed to be strong. And then he helps her, and they track down where this pendant that she lost is going. They track it down. They get to this bar, and then as they enter, they both die. Not even kidding. They both get stabbed and die. And Subaru's like bleeding out, and he's dying, and he's like, this is so painful. And he's like reaching for her hand. He's like, I'm gonna save you. And then he dies. And then it's the end of the book, and then there's no more story. Sorry, no, that's not what happens. It turns out he was sent to the world with one ability, one thing that he was given, and that is that when he dies, he returns to a specific point in time before his death, and he's given an opportunity to redo what happened over again. is what, 27 volumes? Yeah, so 27 volumes. In 27 volumes, it's still not explained. It's still not explained how he actually got this power. Like, it's kind of hinted at. You kind of figure out, like, who's given him the power, but you don't know why. He doesn't know why. He doesn't really question it. Oh, man, I just want to read this again. It's so good. It's such a good series. Let's put that back up there. It's so good. I love ReZero so much, but anyway, eventually in that first book, that's where he dies. Eventually they get the pendant, they figure out how they died, or sorry, Subaru figures out how he died, but no one else remembers anything. He's the only one that remembers, like, the loops. And then, yeah, eventually they get the pendant, he figures out who keeps killing him, because he dies like 2 more times in the book as well. Then he passes out and wakes up in the mansion, but it's still like an ongoing story. There's so much happening, there's so many plot points and theories and stuff. It's, if you haven't watched, there's 3 seasons and then a 4 seasons. It's coming out. It's coming out. I'm talking really fast again, aren't I? The next season is coming out. I think in the next season of anime. No, that's not true. It's coming out in April of next year. They had a trailer for it recently. I'm super excited. Because that's the Pallades Watchtower arc that I was talking about, where they go to the tower and there's all the symbolism and stuff. So they're doing that arc finally, which is cool. I don't know where I was going with this. I was talking about a wedding that I had gone to. Then I'm just going on a tangent about ReZero. That's what happens when I accidentally bring up my favorite piece of, like, literature or media. I don't even know what you would call it, my favorite. It's a light novel, but it's also like a manga, it's an anime, there's some video games too. I don't know what you would call it, but I love it. It's so good. It's really good. But it's also like, it's so interesting because it's like in a series where your main character can't die. He can die, but he just goes back where he can't fail in death. Death is not a failure. How do you have stakes? Because if someone's threatening to kill him, well, he just goes back in time and can try again. So how do you create stakes? That's really interesting at what it does. It basically, physical anguish isn't something for him, but mental anguish becomes a big problem. Imagine witnessing your friends die horrible death over and over again. That's what Subaru has to go through. He has to witness people around him die constantly, and then be killed himself, only to be sent back in time to try and prevent that from happening over and over and over again. So it's a really interesting, like, way to create sort of tension in the story, because when a character can't die, when a character has no consequence, like death has no consequences for him, how do you make him like a character that you can sort of relate to and empathize with? And like, because if he, I don't know, for example, if he gets his arm cut off, which I think does happen a couple times, this, am I? He gets eaten by rabbits, and they like bite off his arm at one point, but then he dies later. But then so he's got his arm back, so it's like there's no consequence of the physical damage that's done to him. But there is like mental damage, because like that's messed up thing to happen to you, and to see happen to others and the people you care about. The series also just has like a heavy focus on themes of like love and all the different forms that it comes in. So you have like romantic love and like the love of a child, and like unrequited, and like familial, and like self-love as well. That's another like big one. It focuses on like there's different characters, and each one sort of represents, I guess, a different form of love, and it's, I don't know, it's really sweet that when you notice that like Subaru has a problem with loving himself, and then he's obsessed with this one girl. There's another girl that sort of like loves him, but he loves her, but in a like platonic way. He wants to be like a hero for her, but he's not in love with her. And then there's another character that isn't his sister, but basically he loves her like as if it was a sister. And then he gets another character that basically he loves like a daughter. It's really sweet. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just sweet to see this character like learning different forms of love as someone who was a shut-in and kind of didn't really like think he deserved that. It's really nice. Okay, well, I wasn't going to talk about nerd stuff this time, and I ended up ranting about not even ranting, just like talking about ReZero. Alright, let's wind this down. Let's get you all ready for bed. Dim the light a little bit. I'm gonna get in nice and close to you, okay? I'm gonna get in sit there and listen to me